After receiving great feedback from the How to Gain YouTube Sponsors video, I figured I would follow that up with something else that kind of falls in the same category, but that I think should be emphasized first and foremost, and that's actually having a YouTube channel that people know and talk about and are willing to go back to for product reviews, or, it depends on what you're doing. Now, this video is not only going to pertain to tech YouTubers, but I'm going to emphasize that one because it's probably one of the hardest markets to penetrate at this point because it is so saturated with people out there wanting to do the same things. Now, I can say from experience that when I first started Science Studio, I wasn't doing computer stuff, and after realizing that computers were the hot things on YouTube, I switched to that for the sake of gaining a fan base, and I ended up actually really loving it, so that's kind of why I stuck with it. No company is going to want to send you a product if you have 10 subscribers. That's just a fact. They're not going to waste their time with a channel that they know is not going to receive a lot of views. It's basically an advertisement on their part. They're essentially paying for the advertisement by giving you the product for free, and if you don't have a large enough fan base, they're not going to waste their time. That's just how big companies work. It's even how small companies work. You won't even have Chinese companies reaching out to you that, manufacture basically knockoffs of name brand products because they don't even want to waste their time with you. Now, I'm not trying to be harsh, but that is the reality of the tech sphere. Really, any kind of company that's looking to advertise products on YouTube channels aren't going to go for the ones that don't have views. It's just common sense. But even if you're not into product reviews, let's just say you're an artist who likes to upload time-lapse drawings and paintings, or a car enthusiast who likes to get his or her hands on some really fast cars for the sake of review and the occasional YouTube upload. How do you get your YouTube name, your personal brand that you've created, out there to the masses? How do you get people talking about your channel on forums, in the comments, just ready to come back to your channel immediately after you upload a new video? There are more ways than one to approach this subject, but I will speak from personal experience, kind of give you some pointers here and there that'll help you grow your YouTube channel. The first thing I want to talk about is investment. It is a touchy subject, for real. I mean, people don't like spending money on things that they're uncertain about. They don't know if their YouTube channel is going to take off, so should they even worry about investing in equipment if they're not going to make money in the long run or be able to rely on it as some source of income? And my answer to those people who are worried about that and kind of on the fence about it is do it. If you're all in on this and you really want to make your YouTube channel just take off, invest in a decent camera and a decent microphone. I can tell you from experience, the first two things I notice when I watch any video is, one, how good the camera quality is, or the camera recorder. If you got a really nice camera but you're shaking it all over the place or something, that's going to ruin the experience as well. But camera's number one, and then the audio quality is number two. So if you're doing a lot of talking, maybe you're doing an instructional or something, and you're speaking in the background, if your voice sounds like garbage or your picture looks like garbage, then it's going to turn people off. And I'm not saying that to be harsh, I'm just saying that to help you out. That's how people are. They're so used to these super expensive cameras being used to film these videos that they watch on a daily basis, that when they have to revert to something that isn't even close to on par with what they're used to, they're going to associate that with somebody who just doesn't care about their YouTube channel, or just is inexperienced overall. Now, that could just be because you can't afford a camera at this point. Maybe you're just starting out, kind of trying to test the waters, and you're realizing that people really don't care about your YouTube channel, so you're like, well, I'm glad I didn't invest in an expensive camera for this stuff because people just don't care anyway. I say rethink that, because it could just be that they don't care because it looks like you don't care. That may not be the truth. I mean, you could have some of the best instructionals in the world, some of the best vlogs, reviews in the world, but if you're filming it on a cheap camera phone without optical image stabilization, people just aren't going to care to watch it. You could have the best content in the world. That's what they're going to have to deal with, is the actual video. And if the video looks like crap, they're going to associate that with just a crappy YouTube channel. Now, there are channels that get away with this. A prime example is Grade A Under A. I don't know if you've heard of him. If you haven't, you can check out his link to his channel in this video's description. But literally all of his videos, for the most part, are made with Microsoft Paint. I'm pretty sure that's what he's still using. So at first glance, you're like, wow, this guy really doesn't care about his content. I mean, he's using Microsoft Paint, and his videos aren't even in the full 16:9 resolution. But if you actually, listen to what he talks about in his videos, he has a very unique perspective, a very creative personality, and just brings dry subjects to life. And that's what sets his channel apart. So It's going to depend on the content, the stuff you're trying to deliver to your audience. You have to ask yourself up front if you'll be using, for a majority of your channel's life, a camera or some kind of other software. In his case, Microsoft Paint. Very few people can get away with that. He gets away with it beautifully, but I don't recommend using that in most cases. It's just going to turn people off unless you have a super out there personality that can bring things back to life. So camera, the first thing that I would recommend, buy something like a Nikon D3300, a D5300. You're going to look at anywhere from $400 to $800 for a decent DSLR grade category. You see where I'm going with this. So in that price range, anywhere from $400 to $800, I recommend at least 1080p 60 FPS. Your viewers will appreciate that. Now the microphone is another issue. I'll show you what I have. Where is it? It's right over there. So this right here is a microphone that I use when I'm out of the studio or when I just don't feel like using the Yeti microphone. This requires a lot of post-processing and editing, and this I just plug into my iPhone and I'm good to go. I have to have the converter on it because I have an iPhone 7. But apart from that, it'll work. It's TRRS, so you can plug it into any modern smartphone, and boom, you've got a decent sounding lapel microphone that you can use in interviews, things of that sort. Let's say you got a cameraman and you're just walking around, you don't want to use the camera's microphone, you can use something like this, and your viewers will also appreciate this. The fact that you were even willing to spend, this was only like 20 bucks, I have it linked in the description, but this will really change the audio quality of your channel. So if you're someone who does a lot of vlogs or things of that sort and you don't have, I don't know, a $3,000 camera with a really nice Rode microphone on top or something like that, then invest in something like this. At least in the beginning, your viewers will appreciate it. It does really, it does make a difference. Take my word for it. When I finally got the Yeti microphone, that was a big deal as well. My audio game was just on a completely different level, and the viewership feedback was definitely positive from that. So those are the two things I suggest investing in up front: a nice camera and a nice microphone. Third thing I would recommend is a nice computer. Now, it doesn't have to be a $2,000 beast or anything like that. It can actually just be a laptop if you're willing to spend around $1,000 on a decent laptop with maybe an i7 6700 HQ, or just any kind of typical desktop with an i3 or an i5. You can get away with some pretty heavy video editing on those things if you have a bit of patience. From Premiere to Vegas to DaVinci Resolve, any of those programs I recommend. They won't compress the hell out of your video, so it's going to still look decent, at least until you upload it to YouTube. That's something you really can't control. But stay away from software like Movie Maker if you can, especially if you're using a 1080p 60 FPS camera. You're not going to be able to export in 1080p 60 FPS, at least with the generation of Movie Maker that I am used to using. That's actually what I used in the beginning of my channel, and then when I moved to Premiere, I was just able to do so much more with it. So unless you're doing some kind of vlog where you don't think 60 FPS is going to make much of a difference, maybe your camera's just sitting still a lot, and you're just doing tricks on a skateboard or something. And the difference between 30 and 60 might not be a big deal there, but if you're moving the camera a lot and you don't have maybe optical image stabilization, then you're going to want something other than Movie Maker. It's just going to make the entire viewing experience a bit better and a bit more enjoyable for your audience. The fourth thing I recommend is testing the waters, not just in your comfort zone, but a little outside of that. So when I first started making science videos, that's why this channel is called Science Studio, I had no interest in computers. I didn't even know how to build a computer. And then when I realized that people really weren't into the stuff I was showing, I mean, I was a really small channel anyway, nobody knew who I was, I started debating whether or not I should build a computer to make my videos look better. So I did the third thing. I did step 3. I built a nice computer in an attempt to make my videos look more professional, to reach out to a bigger audience. But because it was Science Studio, I said, well, I'll just film my computer building process. It's my first computer ever, so it'll be interesting for people to see anyway. The channel actually started blowing up. People really wanted to see it. I don't know why. It was a budget PC build. It was like $500. But people were really into it, and I received thousands upon thousands of views. And that's not to say that anybody who's into anything on YouTube should build a computer and upload it, and that's how you'll get views. You know, you don't have to be into computers in order to produce a good YouTube channel or to get people to recognize you. But that was one way that I was able to kind of find a target audience that I didn't originally intend on reaching, but that really helped grow the channel and ultimately ended up evolving the channel into a primarily tech-related science. So that's where I am now. That was a result of listening to audience feedback and just doing what people wanted to see. So let's say you're an artist. Let's say you draw pictures for your YouTube channel. If you're trying to show people in a lot of these videos how to draw specific things, like how to draw a human face, which I surely cannot do, or how to draw a wolf, or maybe a landscape, if people aren't interested in the how-to videos, maybe you should change every now and then the subject of the videos to something along the lines of, you know, the Mona Lisa. You're just like copying other people's work, but you're trying to improve upon it or something, you know, something different like that. Or just a big time lapse of a ultra panoramic picture you took with your iPhone. I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. But you see what I'm saying? So don't stick with something that really isn't being received by your audience. It's not something you can control. Your content could be super good, but if people just aren't finding it in their search engines on you know, Google, Yahoo, or even YouTube itself, I don't recommend staying just there. So use other videos that appear to be more, I don't know, more viral for your viewers to get people to come back to your channel to watch the stuff that wasn't originally found in the first place. That's a good way to kind of hook your viewers and then kind of slowly but surely reel them into the content that you originally started the channel with. Now, in my case, I haven't really done that. I've stuck with PC stuff because I'm still growing at a rate that I find very satisfactory. It's a reason for me not to change back to the old stuff. And I have a feeling a lot of my viewers would not appreciate the fact that I was just abandoning computers altogether, or maybe not showcasing it as much as I am. So you have to kind of feel your audience out in the long run. Are they willing to accept the changes that you want to make? Or is your channel growing plenty fine as it is and you're okay with staying with the content that you're at? So if you originally plan on showing how-tos, but the videos that are really pulling people to your channel are the time lapses or the attempts at making old paintings look even better than they were. If those are the hotter videos on your channel, stick with those. Don't pull those out of sight, because those are the ones that are going to keep your channel viral, that'll keep people talking about them on forums and things of that sort. Those are the things that really can bring a channel to life, is when people talk about them outside of YouTube. So they'll post one of your videos on a forum, for example. You'll know it happened because the next day you'll wake up and you'll have you know, tons of more views, way more than you're used to, just from one day. Chances are somebody shared that video somewhere else, and a lot of people saw it thanks to the traffic on that forum or other site. Those kinds of videos are the ones you want to stick with, or at least come back to on a weekly basis or something along those lines. If you just aren't as into those videos, but those are still the ones that are keeping people coming, maybe you should rethink your priorities with the channel, or you know, move on to something else. Because if you don't like what you're doing, it's tough, because if you want to make a living out of YouTube, in some cases you're going to have to do things that you find boring, that you just don't think are that cool, but that your audience really appreciates and really likes to share with their friends, things that ultimately bring you a lot of attention and can make you a lot of money. So if YouTube's something you want to make a full-time job out of in the future, you're going to have to compromise on some things that you think are super cool that other people just don't think are that awesome. Take my channel, for example. When I talk about space was like, space was the thing I started this channel with. I love astronomy, I love physics. Those kinds of things really interest me. Honestly, probably as much, if not more, than computers, even to this day. But a lot of my viewers don't care to watch those videos. That's just how it is. They followed me, they subscribed to the channel for the sake of watching computer builds, computer tests, things of that sort, and I know that. In the back of my mind, I know that's what they want to see. So when I upload a video that has nothing to do with computers, I know that a lot of people are going to just ignore the video outright, not want to watch it because it doesn't fall into their category of interest. That's what you have to ask yourself. Do you want to make YouTube a full-time job or not? Or even a part-time job that brings in some decent income every month? Let's say you upload videos on Saturdays and Sundays because you work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. If YouTube is a decent source of income, let's say you use it to go on vacations every month or something, you have to give your audience what they want, not what you want. Otherwise, they will ignore your videos. They're brutal when it comes to this, but they're at least they're honest with themselves and with you. If they don't want to see it, they're not going to want to watch it. You're not going to make money from it. It's going to be a big waste of time, other than making yourself feel, I guess making yourself feel good that you uploaded a video that interested you. money talks, and it's ultimately what's going to drive channels that want to be successful. That's exactly what Science Studio is doing. I didn't start off with computers, but that's what I do for the most part now, because most of my subscribers subscribe for PC and tech related content. That's what I give them. It's what makes me money, frankly, and it's what keeps the lights on. It's what keeps me motivated to upload more and more videos like this. I want to do this full time. I really do. I don't want to graduate and go work for somebody else who has me work from 9 to 5 every Monday through Friday. I come home and just repeat the same thing over and over again. With this, I get to be creative. I get to do, in a sense, what I want, but at the same time, following suit with what you expect. And I think that there's a really good blend there, and if channels get that right, they can really take off. So take that to heart. Really think about your audience. In every video, how many people are going to want to watch this video? How many people are going to share this video? Is this video interesting? Is it, it doesn't have to be all about the content creator. It honestly should be more about the audience. Keep them first, and their interests first primarily, and your channel will succeed. I guarantee it. So get those 6 things in line. I don't remember what all 6 of them were. The camera, the microphone, have a decent editing rig, ask yourself, what you want to talk about. Be willing to be flexible with the content that you provide, and ask yourself if you want to make YouTube a full-time job or not. Because if you do, then you're going to have to really listen to your audience, read as many comments as you can. Those are the things that I recommend you do. It's why Science Studio is where it is. That's why we're growing at the rate we're growing. That's why I keep sticking with the topics that people want to see. It's why I put so much effort into these videos. If you like this video or appreciate the content, be sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down if you feel the complete opposite, or maybe you disagree with everything I just said. I don't know why, but if you do, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more PC related stuff. We're going to do some more upgrades to Walter White. Be Quiet, the brand Be Quiet, is coming to the rescue with their new power supply. Should fix the issue that we have with it currently. If you're interested about why that happened or what was going on, check out the video right here. This is Science Studio. Thanks for learning with us.